The Squad, you know who they are. The two big prolific Squad members in Congress, AOC and Cori Bush. We're going to talk about both of them today. They're very elated as of late because they had this little bit of a spectacle going on that actually worked. If you recall, they were camped outside of the White House, out of the Capitol building, excuse me, because there was an eviction moratorium that was well underway, and they were fighting this, even though they were Congress people, and the Supreme Court said, hey, Congress people, you're supposed to vote on this. They didn't, and so they got really upset about this. Cori Bush was out there, I think in a sleeping bag with a chair with a couple boxes of Oreos, really upset that she had to be homeless because she got evicted from the Capitol building. So anyways, we're all kind of laughing at them, and the whole thing worked out. Joe Biden, lo and behold, as consistent as many of us would expect, just took a nice little something on the U.S. Constitution and extended the order anyways in violation of the Supreme Court. And so naturally, Cori Bush, the Squad, AOC, and many others are just elated as can be. Very happy. The Constitution is kind of a racist old document anyways. We don't like it. And so good news that the CDC did this. Very excited. And so they were celebrating all over the place. A lot of good energy. And so we're going to talk about some of these celebrations. The first one we're going to start off with is with AOC. You can see this is the scene outside of the Capitol building. And we've got a lot of people out there who are very, very excited. And so, this guy has like a sock on his head or something. A lot of face masks over here. This might be a face mask on his head. I don't know. We have, face masks over here. But a lot of people in very close proximity all gathered together for this event.
Let's take a quick photo so we can keep the pressure up so other colleagues can come out here. Yeah?
Great. All right. So we see AOC right there.
New York crew?
See her?
Oh, this is everybody, all right?
I'm going to play that. Here's AOC. No masks on anybody except her. I'll put that on. He puts his on too over here. Got to mask up. This guy puts his on. Violation. Okay, so there we go.
Housing is a human right on three. 1, 2, 3. Housing is a human right!
Property rights aren't. Housing's a human right. But property rights definitely don't really care about those property rights. Oh, the mask comes off. Oh. Okay. So very excited. 1 minute later. Oh, so happy. Yeah. Property rights. Property rights are human rights on 3. 1, 2, 3. Property rights are human rights. Oh, no, what was it? Housing rights are human rights. My bad. Property rights, right? I'm talking about property rights. They're talking about housing rights. I guess housing rights supersede property rights. It's going to be very concerning to them when there are no people who want to build houses anymore because housing rights are now human rights. I don't know what's going on here. The point is no mask, and that's okay with me. I'm okay with that. But I am not okay with the double standard and the moral sort of preening that comes out of these people. It's a symbolic thing that she's doing, and she knows it, which is why she puts it on her face before she takes the picture. Not particularly scared about what might happen to her without the mask on. Gets around a lot of people, takes it's going to be on Instagram. Let me get my Instagram face on. Whoop, slap the thing on there. And then as soon as the picture's over, pulls the thing back off. But she will lecture all of you and me, all of us, repeatedly about what monsters we are for not complying with these orders. It's a symbolic thing. That's okay. As long as they acknowledge it's a symbolic thing. As long as they just admit it, that the whole thing is just symbolic as hell and it's really all for show. But she'll never do that. She'll continue to come out here and wag her finger in everybody's faces about this spectacle called a mask. All right. So did she address this at all? This video is making the rounds. A lot of people have been giving her grief. She intelligently just has not addressed it. So over on her Twitter account, nothing, doesn't even talk about it. 23 hours ago said something like, on Capitol Hill, the norm in staff culture is devised to pull back, not push and be cautious. The only way this happened is because we're public servants. So she's celebrating the eviction, very excited about that. But nothing, right? Didn't address the mask thing at all. Retweeted that, nothing there either. Now, this, my friends, is Cori Bush. We've talked about Cori Bush here on the channel. Cori Bush, as we know, was also victorious here. Was very successful. in actually getting something done, whether it's because of her or not, right? The battle that she was fighting, she won. She was demanding a unconstitutional extension, and she got it. So congratulations to Cori Bush here for the wrecking of the U.S. government, but well done. Now, we're going to listen to this because she's celebrating, right? A lot of energy, very excited, and she is going to be giving us a very, very interesting distinction here between private security and the police. And it's very interesting because she's somebody who for a long time has been compelled to advocate for the defunding of the police. No more law enforcement anymore. We want them all going away, which concerns many people because the police keep a lot of law and order for many people throughout the country, of all stripes, of all demographics, of all colors. And so the idea that we're going to return to sort of a summer of 2020 where people were worried about their police buildings like the 3rd Precinct in Minneapolis being burnt to the ground, or they were concerned about Wendy's or used car lots in their neighborhood, or here malls that were being broken into, slightly concerning, all in the name of, social justice or whatever, on the back of defunding the police because the allegation from the squad has always been that the police are racist white supremacists. So now we have to ask ourselves, right? A year has passed. We see increasing violence due to the Biden crime wave taking place all across the country. And we have still Cori Bush and many other people like AOC demanding that the police continue to be defunded. So people ask themselves, well, what about my safety? What about my family? What about my personal security? Where can I be protected? If that question gets dumped back onto Cori Bush, what does she say? Oh, well, I'm a congressperson. I get death threats. My life is more important than yours because I am entitled to private security. I'm going to continue to have private security, even though I'm going to stand here and argue that the police need to be defunded. I deserve security. You do not. I'm a congressperson. The circumstances surrounding my existence are different than yours. This is a 2-minute clip. It feels like it's about 20 minutes, so we might have to take a break, but this is Cori Bush.
We're also talking about the same exact people who say horrible things about me, who lie to build up their base, and then because they lie about me, I receive death threats. Now, they don't address the fact that I receive death threats after they go on air and say horrible things about me, but then they want to say, oh, but she needs private security.
Yeah.
I have private security because my body is worth being on this planet right now. I have private security because the white supremacist, racist narrative that they drive into this country, the fact that they don't care that this black woman that has put her life on the line, they can't match my energy, first of all.
That's
this
true.
Black woman who puts her life on the line, they don't care that I could be taken out of here. They actually probably are okay with that. But this is the thing.
No, we're not.
I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets because we're trying to save lives. What other occupation can do work that's out of their scope and still be propped up to do work that's out of their scope? As a nurse, I can't be the surgeon too. You don't want me being your surgeon and I'm the nurse. At what point do we pay police to be social workers? No, we don't. How do they get to be social workers? So what I'm saying is you do your job. Let the people who have gone to school with a particular skill set do theirs. Neither defunding the police and being able to have security because those same folks are causing it. It's two totally different.
Okay. Folks, that was like 2 minutes. I know it felt like about 2 days there, but suck it up, America. Suck it up. You got to suck it up. The police need to be defunded. You cannot match her energy, number one. And number two, she needs private security. Her life is important. She needs to be there doing things. She is a strong African-American woman. And she's not going to I think she's upset about white supremacists who are talking bad about her, who are, I think, maybe the same people that are the police, which is why she doesn't want the police, but she does want private security because she protects herself and wants people to be alive. And then she's talking. It's very confusing. I don't know what else to do with this other than to say, sorry, America. This is the new. These are our leaders. She's in Congress, and she was successful. She got exactly what she wanted. She succeeded in convincing the Biden administration to dump all over the Constitution. And she's sort of the face of the party now, as far as I can tell. She's the most successful Democrat in the entire party at this moment in time. So that's Cori Bush. That's our Congress. All right. Well, let's see what we've got from questions over here from watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Cori Bush. All right. Let's see what's here. We've got Sweet Potato. That was from Trump's taxes. Let's see here. We've got the squad. We've got Vienticus Prime. Don't worry, I'll train you to say it right yet, he says. Vienticus Prime. Thank you. You got to sound it out for me, man. I'm slow. Can someone please inform me when the general populace in any part thought it was a good idea to prop up and support any politician anywhere as a general rule? I don't. It's a great question. Vienticus Prime. I think at some point, the political class became sort of our royalty class, and people really think that they're important, they matter, and that what they do is consequential, and that they're in charge, and that they've got good ideas, and that they can control things, and that they're actually thinking. And I disagree with basically all of that. So still, it's sort of like Hollywood, right? It's kind of like Hollywood for ugly people, and it's kind of it's a strange thing. We have Sergeant Bob says, buying Kool-Aid stock. Kool-Aid can't keep up with demand. Get in now. So drinking the Kool-Aid from Sergeant Bob. Yeah, that's defund the police. We have Speech Unleashed says, AOC put her mask on after she had already been sitting by everyone with her mask off. Looks like a super spreader event to me. That's from Speech Unleashed. Yes. It's all show. We have Vienticus Prime says, Counselor, I'd like to make a motion that from now on, AOC is referred to Grift Casio or Fem Trump with D. Fem Trump with D under the name. I really like it when people do that. Donald Trump did that when he called Little Adam Schiff, Little Adam Shh. Content warning, shh. We're not going to do it. Said Little Adam Shh on the Twitter account, and then he put D, California, after that. I was laughing for like 3 days. His Twitter account was so amazing. I really do miss it. ATL says, love how AOC only wears the mask for the photo op. Also, a tool. It's a spear thrower. Awesome. Thank you for that. Educated me on that. A tool is pronounced a tool. It's a spear throw. Love that. All right. So a tool. I'm going to probably forget that one, but hopefully you'll remind me and not take too much offense. We have Daddy Biden is in the house, says, I think you're misreading this. We all know that AOC was putting the mask on to spare us from her donkey teeth. That's not Biden. That's not nice. All right. But you're right. They're pretty big. We have Speech Unleashed says Biden has no issue giving into them because he knows that SCOTUS isn't going to do anything about it. SCOTUS is still too scared that they're going to pack the court if they slap the Biden administration. You're right about that, Speech, which is why I said if we had a legitimate Supreme Court that they would. But I don't think that they will because they are scared about that. They're going to say, oh, you're right, Delta is bad. Okay, so one final extension. Don't do it again. If I had to guess, that's probably what it's going to be. I hope not. I really hope that they say, no, excuse us. This is the Constitution. I don't care if you try to pack the court. This is still unconstitutional. If they don't do that, man, we're in a tough world here. And they probably won't. So we'll see. We've got another no-namer here says, how can they chant defund the police? Isn't that the Republicans' fault? Then hire private security at 70 to 100 grand a year and say they deserve it because they're important working for you. Yeah, their lives are important. Yours, not so much. Maybe you should run from Congress. Jeremy Matrita says, hey, Rob, I'm all for Congress to doing something to address the massively rising housing prices across the U.S. The wrong thing to do is to lead people to believe they have a right to housing. If they want free housing, I'm okay with low-income housing, but they need to keep in mind that beggars can't be choosers. Yeah. So Congress doing something to address the massively rising housing prices, it would probably be to get out of the housing markets, right? Stop saying that you can live anywhere without paying rent. Might be a good start. Sergeant Bob says, a bit off topic, but my pal retired Detective Venny told me that last month 9 more PBP officers left. That's the Portland police. Also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong there. Also, assistant chief is taking a job in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He could have stayed in Portland for a few more years. Yeah. So we've been seeing that, and I think that's perfectly great. Move. 9 more left. They're not welcome in Portland. They're saying that the police have to solve systemic white racism to be a part of their new gun violence team. It's like a qualification. We talked about it on the channel. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave. We can't do that job because that's an impossible thing. I know it makes you feel good as boneheaded community service or community city council members, but not possible. So we can't apply for that job. So we're going to go to Green Bay. Bye. And then the cities are going to crumble, and they're probably going to blame it on, white supremacy or something. Thanks for that, Sergeant. We got Peely Wally is here, said, I've heard of AOC and her crew. What a mess. What a disrespectful crew they are. I always think these days, if people that died for us back in world wars fighting for the way of life that we did enjoy could only see us today, would they be happy? I guess not. It's a sad way to be, and it's going to just get worse because of the so-called COVID. Yeah. I saw there are a lot of good memes on this, right? It's like, in the 30s or 50s or whatever, any day, right? Any other era, you go back and it's a husband and a wife, and they're saying, honey, let's have a kid. Let's go buy a house. Let's go build some land for ourselves and build a life together. And now it's like, oh, let me check my vaccine app and make sure it's working before I go down to the grocery store. Do I have a mask in my pocket here? Mask up. Okay. Sanitize everything. Bunch of scared children all over this country, which is not actually a bad thing if you're somebody who's aggressive and competitive. Okay, so think about this, right? You might say it's sad that a lot of people are just turning into little, bags of mush all over the place. But if you're somebody that likes to work and you like to win and you like to compete and you like to go out there and conquer your life, take ownership of it all, and you're not scared about what all the scary things in the world, you have a very serious advantage in this world. Very serious. Because there is an entire segment of this population that is still acting like scared little children 18 months after the fact. And they're going to continue to be for the next 18 months because of all Delta, Gamma, Beta, Max, Pro, Prime, whatever, indefinitely. And they are sidelined largely. Many of them, not all of them, but huge portions of the country are sidelined, which means there's a lot more for the productive people in the country for the time being until they eliminate all of the other, infrastructure. Cori Bush is here. Cori Bush is here. Cori, I wonder if she's mad at me for what I said about her. You just mad, white boy? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that. All right. I can't read that, but she called me a racist, which I just knew was coming. I knew it was coming. You just mad, white boy? Cori Bush said that. I didn't say that. Nadarb is here, says, I would 100% not be sad if she were can't say that, Nadarb. God. Taken out of Congress. All right. Okay. So borderline, Nadar, borderline. John Delar says, I'm not buying that they extended it because of Cori Bush. They were getting pressure all over the place. Her protest was totally weak and lame. I agree, John Delar. I was being very facetious there, but sometimes it's hard to tell with me. I know. So I am not giving her any credit, right? She has no idea what she's doing. We heard from her on that last clip when she was out there with her Oreo cookies, and she doesn't know how Congress works. So I'm not really sure that she moved the needle on this thing. I think it was probably well underway in the first place as a way to wedge the Supreme Court versus the rest of the country. It's triangulation, right? The White House is in sync with Congress because the Democrats control both of those. And so neither one of them can appropriately accept the blame. So they have to build a wedge in where they can make the third branch, which is not under their control, the scapegoat. And they've done that pretty masterfully. Well done. I think it was probably orchestrated, well in advance. Want to Know says, Portland police need to play her video at city council meeting in front of the council. See if they come up with any conclusions there. We have It's Ed says, long post here says, glad you are posting these things. We need to hold them to the fire just like they hold everyone else to the fire. We need to use their tactics against them. Think about it like this. When Ted Cruz responded to AOC and agreed with her tweet regarding the investigation of Robinhood and GameStop, AOC responded with something about him trying to kill her because of 1-6. It was quite a while later that she was making an issue out of it. We need to do the same. We need to make a mountain out of an anthill with these types of people. They are fake, and we need to make a spectacle out of their follies. As far as Cori Bush goes, she thinks she could use race and gender to stop the argument and shut down the opposition. I am not guilty for being white. No one else should be either. So I will continue to hold her accountable for her actions. She is a liar and corrupt. And in all fairness, AOC is hot. She has that crazy ex-girlfriend vibe that wants to burn your house down. But still, she's hot. And so there's a certain level, Ed, of potential arson that's acceptable for many men in this country, myself included. There's a level of it. Well, the arson risk, if it's like a 3 out of 10, you might accept that. That's that's an acceptable arson risk. When you get above 5s, like 6, 7 level of arson, you got to really be, she's got to be, it's got to be, worth it for that. But yeah, a 3 or 4, you can kind of have a good 3 or 4 arson level. You can ride that out for some time. You just want to make sure you're cognizant of that. If you start to see a 3 turn into a 5, you gotta get out of there. So be careful. All right. So good comment from It's Ed. And hey, by the way, as to the rest of your comments, I think it is sort of pertinent, right? There are a lot of conservatives who are going that direction, and I think that they are seeing some success. It's not. I like to sort of do it a different style. I think that you can be kind of serious and poke fun and use satire and really sort of rub their noses in it from a sort of a fun, jovial perspective without getting too emotionally attached. I think that's sort of the secret sauce. If you become too sort of emotionally invested in it, then it's not like you're playing with clowns anymore, right? So you got to make sure you have a little distance there. These people are clowns. They're actually like not that intelligent, and they are running things, and they're logically. I'm not talking about just Cori Bush or AOC. I mean Congress. I mean a lot of our elected officials. You have the anomalies. You got guys like Cruz and Rand Paul, and there are many smart people in the Democratic Party as well. I just don't know them, but they are intelligent. But a lot of the people that you see out there that are sort of making the most noise, I'm not sure how effective that is going to be long term. I think it is going to be effective for rallying the base up, but I'm not so sure that the libertarians or the conservatives should have AOCs or Cori Bushes, right? Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are kind of going that route, and I don't know how effective that is for winning national elections, candidly, right? I think that the Democrats are going to suffer dramatically from this defund the police stuff. They're going to feel it in 2020 and 2022 and 24 here pretty soon, I think. So the question is, I just saw a super chat come in. The question is, what are the end goals? I think it is always a good idea to make sure that you are, having fun with some of these things. And I think it is effective to be satirical and sort of poke fun at them, right? If they're going to act like clowns, call them clowns. And we're going to do that here from time to time, right? Not all the time because it gets a little bit repetitive. I don't want to turn this into Fox News, right? GOP is good. Republicans are good. Democrats are bad. Because I think the GOP is just as idiotic as the Democrats in many, many ways, but we just don't hear from them. What are they doing right now? I really don't even know. I would love to beat up the Republicans, but they're not doing anything. They're just sort of asleep at the wheel, letting the Democrats do whatever they want, extending eviction moratoriums, just making sure that these vax pass things are rolling out all over the country. They're not even saying anything about it. And that's not good. All right, some other ones. We've got Three Girlies is here, says, you mean to tell me this loudmouth lunatic used to be a nurse? I don't want her being my surgeon, my nurse, my congressperson, or someone I ever have to listen to for 2 minutes. She's a hypocrite. She doesn't even know what's coming out of her mouth, completely ignorant. Yeah, she is actually, she is ignorant of this thing. 2 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes, didn't it? And I let it go. I didn't have to let it go, but I endured it. And I wanted you to experience it with me. It's a bond. We both suffered for 2 minutes in that thing. And we're closer as a result. Don't you feel closer? We just went through something together. We have no doubt, says, government shouldn't be allowed to have minimal security protection. That way they can rely on making good decisions for their protection. Right. Or maybe they should have the same security that we have. so that they pass stuff that is good for us as well as them. Not two tiers and two systems. Says, so Nadarv says, I sent it that way purposely as a joke. I said taken out of Congress a little later in the comment. I wouldn't want to get you in trouble, LOL. Yeah, Nadarv, I saw it. So I read the first part and then I was up and I hit the ejection button and then I read the rest of it and I went back to it. But I understand your point. It is fun and I appreciate it. I just am like super skittish, as you can imagine, right? We just got remonetized, and a lot of our videos, by the way, are still being automatically demonetized. So the channel is remonetized, but the videos, so I turn on monetization right here. As soon as I finish the show, it's going to be demonetized. And then I'm going to apply for it for full monetization. And then they're going to tell me tomorrow, after all the views are already done, because the show sort of expires, after the day's news, then they're going to turn the monetization back on. And so there's almost like nothing that comes from being remonetized other than we get the super chats, which I really am grateful for. So a little bit of a show update. We're still sort of finagling our way through the YouTube journey, which is why I'm like, I get a little, gotta shut that one off. But I'm not upset about it, Nadarb. It's a funny, fun comment. Thank you for it. Another one here says, an officer I knew had his car torched in the car park next to the police building by an ex-girlfriend. Arson. Yeah, that's like a level. That's a full arson. That's a 10 out of 10 there. It didn't help that he had told his gal that he was an investment broker while dating her. She saw his photo in the newspaper. True story. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 full arson. You have to break up with her at that point. It doesn't matter, what she looks like or whatever. Gotta go. Jeremy Matrita says, Rob, you do a great job of finding a balance between presenting information and facilitating a conversation, as well as having fun and having a sense of humor. One thing we have over the left is a sense of humor. Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. They're not that funny. And I went over to, who was I listening to the other day? I was listening to, what's the guy's name? He really does not like Shapiro. He was the guy who, Seth said something or other. He's got like 1.2 million subscribers on his channel. And he went up against, he sort of surprised Steven Crowder, whatever that guy's name is. I listened to a full show yesterday, and I'm like, these people are just out of their minds. All right, so let's jump into some super chats. Let's see what we've got going on in here. All right, we have, that was from Beth. Amazing. Beth's doing amazing. We got one here from Brody Z says, the issue with these Democrats is they don't know they're actually hurting citizens in the long term with their temporary political propaganda. Totally agree with that, right? We hear this all the time, that the Democrats are the humanitarians, that they care about people, that they care about the immigrants, the migrants, bringing their families across the border. And so we have to be good people by accepting them into the country. What happens then? Well, we see what's happening at the border. People are living in squalor. People are bringing their families treks through the desert in August. Do you know how hot it is here right now? It's hot, and they're dragging their families across. There are people dying, getting raped. Kids are getting abducted on the journey to the border. Then when they get to the border, it's a disaster. There's COVID all over the place. There are no facilities, and it's a gigantic problem. And so what they're doing is they're actually causing more suffering. But they feel really good here in America. All of the liberals are all here, and they're, oh gosh, well, at least we're doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing. I know it's hard, but this is the right thing. And it's not. It's actually hurting people, and it's creating this second class of non-citizens, sort of slave undercurrent, people who are going to be here that are sort of in this pseudo-legal status, and they're going to be able to be taken advantage of and sort of live in the shadow for the rest of their lives. That's what the Democrats are creating with their immigration. Same thing with all of this other stuff. We're going to give you a bunch of stimulus money. Where'd the money come from? Well, we just made it up out of thin air. So what does that do to the people who are very happy to get their $1,200 a month or whatever it is, very excited about it, not realizing that the trillions in dollars that have been added to our money supply are going to hurt them seriously in the long run due to inflation. They're seeing it everywhere they turn, but they're not cognizant enough to recognize what is happening right in front of their eyes. The government knows that, which is why they're going to continue to do it. All right, that was from Jared. Oh, no, that was who was that from? That was from Brody Z, thank you. I forgot where I was. Brody Z, thank you for the super chat. We've got Zulu says, it's good to hear you as always, getting a super chat in while still allowed by YouTube. Thank you, Zulu. Zulu, I appreciate you being here. I saw your comment at the start of the show. I love hopping in here and seeing your comments. And I like that you're always just kind of giving me that a little bit of the needle. I kind of like it. I'm not a masochist, all right? Not in a weird way, Zulu. But it's nice to see you here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. We have Eddie Oliver is here, says, Rob, want to practice karate in the garage? You better know what movie that's from. I don't think I do. What is that from? Is that from Napoleon Dynamite? I'm going to guess. Is it? I might. We have K Bean is here, says, I just wanted to one up Zulu. Thank you. Thank you, K Bean. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's funny. So thank you for that. And I appreciate, I'm watching the chat right there over in YouTube. I see Zorro, Just Cause. I see Eddie Oliver's in the house. We've got Treats, Half Irish, many others. A lot of good stuff going on over there. All right, let's see if there's anything else over on watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We've got Peely Wally is here, says off topics, but how are the rules with Twitch? Are they so ridiculous as Facebook and YouTube and so on regarding free speech? You know, Peely Wally, I don't actually know. You know, Twitch was just one of those things that was really easy to get connected. So I just have an account on there, but I really don't know much how it works or spend much time over there. But I think I might actually spend some time over there. We'll see. We'll see. I've got so many different things. I'm trying to sort of prioritize things. I gotta stay focused. I'm like that. What's the there was a Disney movie or something where like squirrel, right? I feel like that sometimes. So I really don't know how Twitch is. I haven't gotten any warnings from them or any emails saying, hey, you are a white supremacist. Hello, stop that. Haven't gotten that from them yet. So I've gotten that from YouTube, several of those. And Discord said that we are basically Nazis. So we'll see. We'll see if Twitch has any feedback for the show as it continues forward. But we'll just keep plugging along wherever they'll have us. We have No Doubt says you need to watch the Hot and Crazy Matrix. Yeah, that's kind of what I was playing around with there. One of the best videos ever, Hot Crazy Matrix. Probably very offensive to women out there, but I apologize in advance for all of that commentary about it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, it also applies to guys, right? Guys also are insane, so it's not a sexist, chauvinist thing. We're all a little bit whacked. And that's part of the fun. That's why life is so fun and crazy and wild. All of those questions came over from watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Great super chats as well over from YouTube. Big shout outs. Thank you to Eddie Oliver, K Bean, Bonnie Speck, Zulu Zite. We got Brody Z, Beth Coddington. Congrats again. Brody Z, Random Globetrotter, and all of you who supported us there as well as on Locals. Quick reminder, or quick welcome. We had some new people who signed up last night. Welcome. We had Outside Voice joined in with a yearly sub. Thank you for that, Outside Voice. Welcome to the community. Atul is also here, I believe is how I say that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Atul 144 is in the house. We have Teeny Teen EZ is also in the house and joined up, as well as big welcomes to CP565, Lauren CS, Boneless, Ravioli, Venticus Prime, along with Harry Wonderdog, all signed up over at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And I hope that you can all join us on our next monthly Locals meetup, taking place via Zoom, August 28th, a couple weeks away from now, 7 to 8 p.m. at night. It's a lot of fun. Cameras on, cameras off, doesn't really matter, but we just kind of want to, build a community, put names to faces, ask some questions, and sort of just connect with each other. It's a lot of fun. We've done it a few times, and it is a lot of fun. So, final shout outs. Venticus Prime is here saying that they're going to have a drinking game every time I botch his name. So that'll be fun. And we have some shout outs over there as well to Jay Shamanahan. We got Zux in the house who is here. We have Maddie Adams, Johnny Apocalypse, K Bean, Eduardo Espinoza, and many others on YouTube. Everybody, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We are going to be back here same time, same place tomorrow, 4 p.m. Arizona time, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And for that one Florida man, everybody else, have a tremendous evening. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching. Before you head out, I want to just remind you that I am a criminal defense lawyer here in Scottsdale, Arizona, where my team and we've got a long history of helping good people facing criminal charges to find safety, clarity, and hope in their cases and beyond that in their lives. Our phone number for a free case evaluation is 480-787-0394. You can also find us online at www.rrlawaz.com. We can help with any type of criminal charge in the state of Arizona. Things like DUI, drug offenses, misdemeanor offenses. And we can also help with clearing up old case records, like expunging cases or making sure that you can restore your rights so that you can vote again or possess a firearm again or apply for some other federal benefits. We can remove mugshots off the internet. Basically, any time that you or somebody you know or love is in trouble with the law in the state of Arizona. We have an amazing team of people. We would just love the opportunity to help. And our phone number, of course, 480-787-0394. And if you don't need any legal services, that's a very good thing. But you may be interested in some informational offerings so that you are prepared if you do have to deal with the police. And of course, I want to invite you to head on over to gumroad.com/Robert Gruler. You'll notice here, I've got several different trainings that are available, including the law enforcement interaction training. This is the 1, 2, 3 rule for dealing with the police. It's one rule you need, 2 questions that the police can ask of you, and 3 responses if they ask you a problematic question. So that's available now. You can also get a load at my personal productivity system here called Existence Systems. Fun little course. And then we have here, if you're a lawyer or a legal professional, be sure to check out this program. We are meeting twice every month. Again, all of this over at gumroad.com/Robert Gruler. And if none of that sounds any good to you, well, just go ahead and give us a follow, because I'm working on some other products and some other offerings. And of course, if you have not already done so, want to invite you one more time to head on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com. It's where you can support the show, and it's where we can connect. We've got monthly Zoom meetings and a lot of other goodies coming up. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your love and support. I will see you on the next one.